The Marquee RDA. The three guys that came together to make this Marquee RDA happen, I mean, this isn't their first vape rodeo. You got Cisco. And Cisco, if you don't know who Cisco is, man, he must be just getting into the vape game. That guy's been around forever. And I'll tell you what, he's got a huge vape resume. I mean, he's responsible for making the 306, the Cisco 306 disposable Addy. If you don't know what that is, I mean, it's been around for years. He's still making them. He's still selling them. And he's the producer of another legendary Addy called the HH357, which is also a disposable atomizer and has also been around for years and still to this day sells like hotcakes. And then you got two other guys, Dino and John Boy, and those guys came together to produce the Lava Gin, the Lava Tank, and then the Copperhead Mechanical Mod, which all three have been very, very successful products. So yeah, this isn't their first rodeo, if you know what I'm saying. And when I found out months ago that those three guys were coming together to build an RDA, man, I was stoked. I have been counting the days, baby. Been counting the days, and I finally got one. Been vaping on this thing, like I said, for a month now. Woo! And I've been enjoying it. I'll get into all that. But price point for this device, okay? Don't flinch. Don't flinch. I mean, it is expensive. For an RDA, it's expensive. $145 retail. And before we move any further, I want to go ahead and get straight to the point, baby. Straight to the point about the price point. You guys know how I feel about RDAs, especially high-end RDAs above 100 bucks. Any RDAs above 100 bucks. Well, this is that exception, okay? $145, yes, that is a steep price. That's a lot of money to invest in vape gear. It is, especially for an RDA. But for me, I would do it. I put it to you like this. If I lost this device, this Marquee RDA today, I will go back tomorrow and buy another one. Right now, it's in my top two. Top two as far as RDAs. And the flavor I get off this thing is the dog's bark, baby. It's the cow's milk. I mean, it's right up there, like I said, right there, neck and neck with the Veritas. It basically is very, very, very similar, and you'll see it in the close-ups. It's very similar to the Veritas, but it's so much easier to build on. It's so much funner to build on. You guys who love to build, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. It's super convenient. Easiest RDA to build, especially when you're building vertical coils, chimney coils, even horizontal coils is pretty damn easy. So right now I've got a nickel build in this Marquee RDA, got a 0.11 reading at rest, vaping at 25 watts, set to 450 degrees. The vapor production is, I mean, really, really, really good. It's not up there with those cloud chasing, those competition RDAs, but that's not what this thing's made for. This thing is made for flavor, man. For guys like me, I mean, the vapor is freaking satisfying as all hell, but the flavor is even better. It's even better, and that's what I love about it. I love the air draw. It's that same exact air draw that I got off the Veritas, which is just my cup of tea. Yeah, but this thing vapes fantastic for your nickel builds, vapes fantastic for your Kanthal builds, 22 gauge, 24 gauge, 26 gauge, 28 gauge, doesn't matter. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and dive down, and you know what, in the close-ups, I'm going to change these videos up just a little bit, make it easier so I'm not repeating myself, but in the close-ups, I'm going to go over all the specs while I'm showing you the product, all broken down, how to put it back together, but I'm going to go over the specs, I'm going to go over the pros, and then when we come back, I'm going to go over the cons for the device, the con that I found for this device, and then I'm going to wrap it up and tell you guys where you can get one of these. So you ready? Let's go! Here is the plastic container this Marquee RDA comes in. You've got the logo up top, okay, you've got the logo on the front, and then you turn it, and you've got all of your specs. Boom, 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 boom. Very self-explanatory. Turn it, and then on this side, you got the two companies that joined forces to make this RDA, as well as the serial number of this device up top, and then the website this thing is offered at. Pop the top cap, and then inside you got all of your goodies along with the Marquee RDA. And here is the Marquee RDA. This dripper is 22 millimeters in diameter, it's 26 millimeters in height, and this thing is made of 304 stainless steel. And here is the base of the Marquee. As you can see, the serial number A20, A meaning the first run. In the first run, they produced 1,000 units. You've got this positive copper pin, and then the 510 threads. 510 threads are buttery smooth. Oh yeah, and this copper positive pin is adjustable. Back to the barrel, you've got 3 2.5 millimeter air holes, okay, 2 for dual coils and 1 for your single coil. And then here's the top of this RDA. You got this nice bevel, and it comes with a stainless steel drip tip, a wide bore drip tip, about 8.5 millimeters in diameter. Okay, this drip tip is about 12 millimeters in height, and boy is she a beaut. You got a logo on the side, the Marquee logo, and this thing right here, this drip tip, it screws into a peak insulator, which I'm going to show you guys in a second. Another close look at the Marquee RDA from the outside. Here's the Marquee deck. As you guys can see on the airflow block, you got the Marquee logo. In the center, you've got the positive post, and then down here you've got your 2 ground connections. Down at the base of the juice well, you got those 2 notches for your coil post holes, which I'll show you guys in a second, but you pop those coil post holes in those notches, and that sits right in front of the airflow holes in the airflow block. And the deck lip or wall is double O-ring for the top cap to fasten on there nice and secure. And then around the side, you've got your airflow holes running through the airflow block, and those airflow holes measure around to be 2.5 millimeters in diameter. Here's a closer look at the positive post. It's got a crown design. It's got those 4 notches, which is supposed to make it easier to trap your leads, just supposed to make it more efficient. And I forgot to mention, this juice well is 6 millimeters deep. So here are some goodies you receive with the Marquee RDA. Okay, your 510 drip tip adapters. You've got a raised 510 drip tip adapter. You've got a flat 510 drip tip adapter over here, and then you've got your coil posts. You've got two sets same size. Here's the larger coil post and the smaller coil post. The thinner size down here is 2.5 millimeters, and it jumps up to 3 millimeters, and then over here in this set it starts at 3.5 millimeters, and then at the largest size it's 4 millimeters. So you build your coils on these coil posts. I'll go over that in a second, but you receive extra O-rings as well. Back to the stainless steel 510 drip tip this thing comes with. The stainless steel drip tip, it screws into the peak insulator, which press fits into this top cap. Here's the inside of the top barrel where the peak insulator press fits. Inside the bottom of the top cap. Peak insulator unscrews from the stainless steel drip tip. Raised 510 drip tip adapter screws into the peak insulator. Peak insulator press fits into the top cap. And then I can use one of my own drip tips. Same thing with the flat 510 drip tip adapter. Screwed into the peak insulator. Pop one of my preferred 510 drip tips into the 510 adapter / insulator. Press fit it into the barrel. And in order to unscrew the 510 drip tip adapter from the peak insulator, what I like to do is just use my drip tip and unscrew it, pop it out, and boom, it's already started to unscrew from the peak insulator, and I am good to go. And let's just say I have the regular 510 drip tip in there that it comes with, the stainless steel drip tip it comes with. I can pop my preferred drip tip into that drip tip, and I'm good to go. So I wanted to go ahead and recap on these coil posts. You get 2 sets, okay? 2 sets, exact same size. The larger set, the smaller set, and with the smaller set right here, okay, this is 2.5 millimeters in diameter, 3 millimeters in diameter, and then with the larger set, it's 3.5 millimeters in diameter, and then 4 millimeters in diameter. Let's just say you wanted to build a dual coil build using the 3.5 millimeter side on both sides. You got the step down, and the step down, it press fits into those notches at the base of the juice well. And let's just say hypothetically you've already done your wraps around the side that's 3.5 millimeters on each coil post. It's going to sit once you place it into that notch, okay, because you got that step down. See those step downs on each side? You place it into those notches and it sits right directly in front of the air holes. Then all you got to do is just trap your leads and you are off to vaping, baby. Off to vaping. You can get a perfect coil every single time. Today I'm going to be wrapping, or I've got a micro coil wrapped around this 2 millimeter side, and all I'm going to do is insert this end into one of those notches because I'm doing a single coil. You guys know me. I love my single coils. So I insert it. Okay, it's in the slot directly in front of the air hole, and then all I do from there, pull it out, pull the coil will slide down just like that, pull in like that, trap my lead, and then what I'll do from there is I'll unscrew this screw, take the screw out, and this is the way I do it. Once I take that screw out, that positive screw, I pull the slack out, and then I'm going to use this notch over here, pull it down in between the two notches, and then pull around. Place the screw back in there, screw it down to make a connection, and it will go all the way down. It will fasten it. Then what I'll do from there is I'll clip the leads. You could wiggle them loose, break them off, but I just like to clip them. And there you go. You got a micro coil, or a start to a micro coil, but I just wanted to show you guys how to install it. I mean, it's easy peasy, and it's perfectly in front of that airflow hole. It is perfectly in front, as you guys can see. What I like to do is just unscrew this a little bit and it'll pop out slowly. And that's how to rebuild this thing. And there are other builds you could do: chimney builds, dual coil builds, horizontal builds, dual horizontal builds, dual chimney builds. I've got tutorials coming on this sucker on how to build in this Marquee. Adjustable airflow time, as you guys can see through that right hole, I've got that single coil in there, and I'm going to be running this thing in single air hole mode. So all I'm going to do is line up that center hole on the top cap with that air hole right there. Line that sucker up. I can close it off. Just turn it like that, close it off completely. I'll go back around. There she is right there. I'm running it in single air hole mode. Turn it once. Close her off more, close her off more. And that's how it works. Now to run this thing in dual air hole mode, line up the two outside air holes on the top cap with the two air holes on the inner cap or inner deck lip. Line those suckers up like so. And to adjust that, all you gotta do is turn it. Close her off even more, close her off even more. And to go wide open, just turn it all the way around to the right, and you're good to go. Or if you want to just wide open, just turn around. Let's say you're a cloud chaser, line up all three of those air holes, and boom, you're rocking and rolling with airflow, that's for sure. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and go over the pros for this Marquee RDA. First of all, this is a 22mm dripper. Fits on all my mechanical mods. Threads buttery smooth. I've got that copper adjustable pin. It fits down, makes connection with all my devices, but not only does it fit on all my mechanical mods and fits flush, it also looks good on my variable voltage, variable wattage devices. Love the adjustable airflow options, or the airflow design where you have the air holes running through that block straight to the coil. It's very similar. Very similar to the Veritas, almost the exact same draw. You know what? It's even more wide open like I have it right now in single coil mode, or even in dual coil mode when it's wide open. It's really, you get more air. You definitely get more of an airy draw off this than you do the Veritas. It's not much more, but you can close her off. You can get that more restrictive lung hit. It's just perfect. The flavor off this is fantastic. Vapor production, you guys saw it in FaceTime, fantastic. Love how easy it is to build on this thing, and you know what? Those coil posts make it so much easier, and it's just convenient. You get what you need. For the newbies out there, for the extreme guys out there, you're gonna have fun with this device. You saw it. You saw me build it. I mean, it took less than what, a minute to rebuild this sucker. Literally, it's easy. Anybody could do it, and that's the beauty of it. And another thing, I love how every time you build, because you are using those coil posts and the way they've designed it to where you have the notches down here for the coil post, your coil is going to be in front of that airflow hole every single time, right in front of it, centered perfectly. You can't miss. You can't go wrong with this savvy. Having the drip tip adapter options and the stainless steel drip tip included, that wide bore drip tip along with the peak insulator, I mean, it just makes it even more convenient because, hey, if you don't like that stainless steel drip tip they include, you can use these 510 drip tip adapters and use whichever drip tip you own, and they're compatible, fit snug as a bug. Yes, they do. You're paying for convenience is what you're paying for with these options. Machining and quality control is a super plus. Now, from the review you guys just saw, you got to remember, I've been using this thing for a month and a half now, and so there's going to be dings and scratches, and those are all my doing. But when I first received this thing was immaculate. I mean, one of the most immaculate RDAs that I've received in a long time, probably ever. Compared to something like the Hobo version 2.1, as far as machine quality, it's right there with it. Now, this is using 304 grade stainless steel, whereas the Hobo's using 316 medical grade, but still, the quality control is super clean. Down to the engravings are clean on the drip tip, if you can see that right there, and then clean up top on this airflow block. Another thing is that there was no machine oil. When I received this, all I had to do was rinse it and vape. It was just as clean as the Dark Horse RDA. And I found out through Dino is that they put these things to an ultrasonic cleaner, all of them, before they ship them out. So they clean them for you. Another thing is that everything about this device except the ground screws is made in-house. Custom made. The positive post screw, they made that in-house. Everything else they made in-house. The only thing they didn't make in-house was the negative screws. That's it. So rating this thing as far as quality control, manufacturing, etc. from a 1 to 10 scale, I give them an 8 out of a 10. It's absolutely fantastic. Threads on this device are as smooth as a catfish's belly, baby. I mean, they are super smooth. Again, that's what you're paying for. And I love the tolerances of the peak insulator, how it press fits. It's absolutely, I mean, some may think it's loose, okay, because you push it and it goes in and out, but they did that for a reason. You can switch it out with these. But here's the thing, when I'm vaping on it, it's not going anywhere. It's not budging. It's a perfect tolerances in my opinion. Having that deep juice well allows me to put more cotton in there, to squeeze more juice in there, to get more juice in there, which means I'm going to get more vape time without having to re-drip. So that is the Marquee RDA. Let's go ahead and take her back to FaceTime and wrap this sucker up. So that is the Marquee RDA. I received this device from a company called Avid Vapor, avidvapor.com. I'll post a link in the description. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, $145 retail. Is it worth it? To me, yes it is. It's my only exception as far as RDAs being above $100. But now that you know where I stand, I'll let you guys be the judge. This is Rip Trippers, and remember, smoking is dead, vaping is the future, and the future is now.